Nick.
Yeah.
Oh, Nick. Whoa, this changes everything. Nick, Nick's hot. Okay. Nick, you're an intense man. Wow. Okay, so a few things about Nick that I'm going to say. Okay, first of all, Nick is born on a new moon. So Nick is a Scorpio new moon baby with Pluto and Mercury in Scorpio. And then in the seventh house, which is marriage, you're really here to get married, Nick. When you saw Molly, you said, finally a wife. Because your Mars is in Libra, which is basically like everything I'm doing is to try to find my wife. And then when you find a wife, you lock her in, you use your sexy voice, accent, Mercury, to charm her, okay? Then Pluto means she doesn't know, but every time I'm talking, she's dying and being reborn a little bit in my liking, okay, to my likesmanship. And then
I like how he's now turned into like Borat.
Be
Oh.
honest.
okay,
I see
First
how
of
I
all-
make up my laugh.
okay. First of all, that was Irish. I don't know if you know this, but I'm actually from Ireland. But I'm gonna work on that. That's a good note. Good note. Notated. You know, Molly and I are both Capricorns. Molly's Capricorn Sun. I'm a Capricorn Moon Mars, and so like, thank God we're doing comedy because it's like, oh, bad accent. But now I'm like, I'm gonna go work on my fucking dialect because like I'm an actor. Okay. So, but okay, let's go. Let me try to get it. Okay. So Nick's, yeah, right. It is Borat. Damn. Okay. So Nick's chart's interesting because he really is this seventh house. So when you look at the chart, you are clockwise, right? So like this is his rising. He's an Aries rising, and we read it counterclockwise. And the first house like is connected to the seventh house. So Nick's an Aries rising. He was born out the womb going, I'm going to go headstrong first into finding a wife, right? But that's not necessarily what he lives for. It just is like low key, even if he would never say it, and he would never say it because he's a Scorpio. But low key, like he is like Nick, you are a romantic person, and you are. It's not that this isn't the kind of chart where it's like I'm dating everyone just to find my wife. This is more the kind of chart where you're like deep down you are looking for that soul connection. You are looking for that real like deep intimacy. And actually you're not like just I actually don't think you are the kind that's like dating everyone trying to find her. You're kind of like, you know, you're not it. No, you're not it. You're not it. You're not it. Like you really on a soul level, you feel like you are missing. You were born on earth feeling. I just want to make sure I have the right birthday before I really. November 20th, 1987.
Correct.
2:54 p.m.
Correct. That was me.
Belfast, Northern Ireland. Okay, because I was about to just like really lay into you now, and now like if that's wrong, I will feel really strange. Okay, so but this is right now. Okay, good. No, this is beautiful though. Okay, so Nick, we're gonna do you quickly, and then we'll go into Molly. But then we'll go to Aisha. Molly knows her fucking chart. Okay, well, whatever. So Nick is an Aries rising. That's why you're so fun to like play with. Like Aries is the first energy, right? So your chart is very, you know, like you're not like really a fucked up person. It's kind of nice. Like you sort of you kind of have like Aries is the first sign. So for you to be an Aries rising, it's kind of like your whole evolution is very organic. Like it's a very holistic. You've kind of like
I can feel that.
He doesn't know what any of these words mean.
No, I can feel that. I can connect with that.
That's very funny, Nick. It's just like you're basically you are you don't have any like the spine of your chart does not have scoliosis. And in fact, it's like you could be in magazines of like what an upright, like you have a great spine. Like this chart is really natural. Like you are a man, but you are a divine masculine, but you're different than the other divine masculine. So you are a divine masculine and you are a manly man, but you're kind of here to like show us how men, you're kind of like the new version of like, because you know, as we are watching the patriarchy fall, the men don't have any examples of like, well, what does it look like to be like a man but who comes from love? What does it look like to be a man who actually isn't afraid of deep intimacy? What does it look like for a man who actually like you actually care about feelings? Molly, he is great. Like you really care about feelings. I know that I don't know if you've heard this word before, psychic, but you are psychic. Like Scorpio is, now you might not even know that you're psychic, but not relate to it. I mean, let's use a different word. You are deeply intuitive. You can feel like it's part of what protects you, because as an Aries rising, it might appear like you're just like, let's go skydiving, whatever, fuck it, I don't even need a parachute. And everyone's like, what, Nick, fuck, you need a parachute, dude, you're gonna fucking splat on the ground, right? But what they don't know is you're like, I secretly put parachutes in everybody's thing, but I'm gonna pretend we're taking them on a suicide mission. So like, you're kind of leading with this funny, like, maybe you're leading with a very primal, playful, like Aries is the light in the dark. It's the light that comes out of the dark. Now, it's interesting because Molly is a Pisces rising. So she's a little bit like swimming in the dark. She's like blind swimming through life a little bit. And even though she's a brilliant Capricorn Taurus, her rising sign in Pisces makes her, on the one hand, she's really whimsy and creative and pretty and artistic, and she can be like she is an artist of multi-dimensions. Molly has many mediums. She happens to be good at writing, and so that's what we lead with because it has like, you know, dollar signs attached, but ultimately Molly's really like an artist. And even the way you could do your bangs and wash pink in and out of your hair so effortlessly, it's like that actually is that Pisces rising shit. But there's some kind of a relief to Nick's appearance, because it's like, why did you like that he was late? Because you're part, as a Capricorn Taurus, you actually try really hard when it comes to being on time and caring about time, and you want to be perfect, but less because you care about time and more because you know that they're going to talk about it. Okay. But in terms of how you actually lead your life, Molly is honestly like, time is not linear, you guys. Molly on a soul level knows that it's all not that serious and it's all kind of made to play and be art. But the fire in Nick's rising gives Molly like kind of it's like, Pisces really is, though, it's like kind of like blind. It's really nebulous. So Nick's rising gives you like oh shit, yeah, like the fire. Like I need some fire in my life. Like so he brings you like a lot of like joy and passion. And he kind of, your chart is very like arty and like pensive and sensitive, but then very serious. Like we joked about at the moon, like Capricorn Taurus is like, you're here to work. You care about the rules. You follow the rules. Even if you break the rules, it's for some purpose where you're like, but this is a righteous cause. I'm doing work here that I need to do. So you do the wrong thing sometimes, but it's from a place of, because I'm here to help the people. Like you feel like government on some level. You're like, I have to be a journalist. No one's going to say the shit, right? For Nick, he's like, I'm here on earth to play. And that play that Nick is here on earth to do is really meant to lead him into great intimacy. And so the way that it's like you weren't like out looking for a wife, but you're like, I'm gonna play with everyone until I find the person who I actually feel that my soul could merge with on a too close for comfort level, because deep down that is what you require. Nick, you do not do relationships that are shallow. You do not do relationships that are, the minute that you are not interested, unless you're like getting something from someone, like maybe you have like, not that this isn't even the chart, but like, let's just say you had a sugar mama, you might say, but that aside, you have no time for being in wrong relationship. But your Mars is in Libra at 27 degrees, and your Chiron, your ancient wound, is in Gemini at 27 degrees in the third house. So really, there's something, when you see 2 degrees that are the same, they're both in air signs, right? Libra is relationship. Gemini is sort of like duality, twins, understanding, learning. Nick, you are literally like, this is a very romantic chart, because you are here to find your wife. I feel like in a past life, this will be really interesting. Now,
I've already found her.
Thank God. It's been lifetimes. You've been going up and down the mountain like a Sherpa, being like, I'm paying my dues so I can finally have that deep intimacy I crave. And now you did. And it's like, on a soul level, you have felt until you met Molly, like, but do I really have a peer? Like there's part of you where you're like, I'm not sure if anyone really understands me. I'm not sure if I really understand the world. I'm not sure if I have anyone that when I look at them, they look like me. Like when you saw Molly, you were like,
the moon met the stars.
Did you think that's true, babe?
I knew it was true. The old moon met the stars. Bada bing, bada boom.
Here we are. Love. Oh my God. Okay. Woo! Now
I wrote my charts up there, and like it says, you're gonna have.
You are here for. You're in the mood for love. Okay, now let's take a look at Molly's chart, and then we'll look at it together. Actually, I'll just show you right now. So now let's look at Nick and Molly's chart on top of each other, right? So this is you guys. This is your chart and Molly's chart. So
He's giggling because you said on top of each other.
Scorpio. Hold on. Scorpio, naughty boy. Okay, so on top of each other. That's very funny. Boys will be boys. Oh, look at my. This is the big studio. Okay, so this is Molly and Nick's chart on top of each other. Okay, so you are laying in the cosmic bed together, and we're gonna investigate further. But I actually, to be honest, this is my left hand that I'm holding the phone with. So like, if I'm like this, that's why. Because like this will be
So
upside
on
down.
the right side, how come we have nothing on that like right side? What part of life is that? Is that
Okay.
the part of the chart that governs being early for things?
So let me just say, Molly, that as a true Capricorn, you would immediately jump to what's wrong with our charts. So that is so funny. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong with your charts, and I will explain everything. But there's never an empty chart. It's more like where the energy is collected. But this, wait, hold on. Let me just make sure the birthday was updated because LOL. Hold on. Now I'm like lying. It's probably not the chart. It's probably not the chart. I have to update all the birthdays. Okay, here we go. We're updated. Okay. Wow, this is romantic. Wow, this is so romantic, dude.
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay, ready? You see, like, make sure this takes only 5 minutes. Okay, so this is your charts on top of each other, right? There is a huge amount of romance here. First of all, remember I just said Nick is like, where's my twin? Where's my other half? So Nick's chart is on the outside. He's the red. Your chart is the blue, okay? So first of all, the base of your chart, you have your Chiron in Gemini. At his third house, which is his like communication and understanding of things, he has his Chiron. Your Chirons are exactly aligned here. In your IC, you mean like, so there might be a first wound where you're like you have a sister, right? Even like leaving your sister might have been really hard for you. And it also might have been really hard for you to have a sister. But then when you then you fell in love with your sister, and then it's really hard for you to leave your sister. So you have the way that you experience that Gemini Chiron is that like you're very close to your family, or you're far away from your family, or there's just sort of a but your sister's really important to you. And
yeah, I was so mean to her when we were little. She's watching now. Sorry, Case.
Well, I got nervous because I almost said something like that, and then I was like, I'm not sure. But that really is what I see in your chart, where it's like, no, like you first were like pissed that you even had a sister. No, Jessica Jason did not want a fucking sister.
I was the only child for 4 years, and then she comes out the womb skinnier than me, blonder than me, and I was like, who is this bitch? And I didn't get over it until I was like probably in high school is when I was like, okay, actually she's pretty cool. So I'm sorry, Case.
And but here's the thing, based on this Chiron, you still feel bad about it. For some reason, it haunts you. You were a bitch, and you were like rejected your sister. And what's so funny, I did the same thing to my brother. I was like so abusive to him when he was first born, because I was like, what is he doing here? I'm 4, same age difference. So, but then when you actually understood your sister and you understood how important she was to you, and you actually got to know her, you really loved her. But then it was almost you had this feeling of like, oh shit, it's too late. And I like missed my chance to spend my whole life being really loving. And it's not true. We're going to have long lives. So you can make up for it. But that you have like pain over that. Like, so that's where your wound is. Now, Nick's is in his, so that's home for you. Nick's is in his third house. So it could be a sibling thing. It also could be, I think Nick, you probably walked around your life on some level just feeling grossly misunderstood. Like, you are a really deep, really private person. And so sometimes people will assume things about you that like just aren't true, and you don't necessarily want to, like, you don't have the time, energy, or interest in like explaining yourself. And so sometimes you're just like, I guess they're just not going to understand me. And then you're like, bye. So when you and Molly met and you guys have your Chirons smack dab together, it's like, like for Nick, he was like, someone that understands me. And Molly was like, oh man, you could, like, not that you're her brother, but like you actually desire having someone at home. Like, you feel bad that it's like when you fell in love with your sister and then you're like, well, wait, we can't be best friends at sleepover parties at night. It kind of broke your heart. Like, you want to be at home with your twin. You want to be at home with your partner. And that's what makes you feel safe. Someone to talk about everything with. And Nick, you may never have had anybody to talk about things with. So now when Molly wants to talk all night with you, you're like, well, all right, shit, that's nice. So you guys.
No.
Come on, yes it is.
He's like, I don't want to talk at night. No, but you really do. You must have really great communication in terms of just like your ability to get on the same page really fast and like you really understand each other really fast. Now, very romantic. Molly's Mars, which is her drive, her fight, her penis energy, what turns her on, what makes her work, what she's passionate about, is conjunct. Let me just show you. It's in the exact same place as Nick's. Look at this. So Molly's Mars is on Nick's sun and moon. So Nick has a very interesting, look at all these planets that he has in Scorpio, right? So Nick has his...
Is Nick red?
Nick is red. So Nick has his Mars in Libra at the very end on his descendant, which is how we know more than anything he is looking for love. You are here to find an actually good marriage, okay? And then you switch to Scorpio. We're like, yeah, but it's not just anybody. I will make it. See, I'll go on a first date with anybody, and then I will never call them again unless they want to go in that Scorpio dark water with me.
I feel like you were a fuckboy before we started dating.
No.
Were you?
No.
One time when he was in college, he figured out how to. He's a programmer. Should I say this or no?
Don't share this shit.
He figured out a way to make Tinder like people for him so that he could go on as many first dates as humanly possible.
First of all, roll. Second of all, get him to Team Moonual. We need a lot of programming. Third of all, that is exactly what I'm saying about your chart. Like but that's how badly you wanted to go on first dates. You would have signed up for The Bachelor, but it's not enough women there for you to be like, which one? Like you actually sincerely want to. Tinder was
Jimmy
like.
said, did anyone like him back?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He went out with everyone, even if they didn't like him back, he went and found them because he was there to find out he wanted to date every single person to be like, he was literally looking for you. He was literally like, I will go on every first date. It's not that he was a fuckboy. It's that he doesn't fuck with anything that's not real. But because his Libra is in Mars and he's a cute guy, he's an Aries rising, you're down for 50 first dates. What a pussy. You'll go on all the first dates and you won't ever call them back and you won't ever speak to them again. But
who's going to carry the boat?
What?
Well, he's going to carry the boat.
I don't know what that means. It must be some sort of Irish farmer.
It takes two people to carry a canoe, or I think if you're kayaking, you have two people
Sure, you know yourself.
You cannot carry the boat by yourself. That's what you mean, right? I would never go boating alone and carry it. It's very hard. It's too big. Yeah, I'm a second person to carry the boat. Yeah, Irish folklore. I'm on it. Okay, so that's a very so Molly's. When Nick met Molly, he was like, when you're born on a new moon, you have a very pure energy, and we'll look later. I'll send you.
He's the one born on a moon.
He's born on a new moon, so you are really a fresh start in the area of Scorpio. What is Scorpio? Intimacy, power, sex, transformation, life, death, birth, witchcraft. Like you actually are a really sensitive guy, but that Aries rising means that you can kind of play like guy. And you have a Capricorn midheaven. So you actually appear to the world like total man, 100% man. But that's all. You're very safe because you're wearing armor. You're literally wearing coats and coats of armor. I know that you must like Irish step dancing. No, but you're doing that. You're weaponizing that Irish step dance. You're actually like, no one's going to come near me now. Like you are, everything you're doing and the whole show is actually because you're such a mush. You're so sensitive, and it's not necessarily that. Sometimes it's a good thing. You are very sensitive, and now when it's the good version of that is that when you find your partner and when you get into intimate relationship, you're really meant to be. This is why I get now why Molly. No, I'm not kidding you. Molly and I used to literally be like, are there any guys who are just like not mentally ill? Are there any guys who? I think we were like, let's write an article on how all men our age are narcissists and we have to forgive them and be with them because there's no other men. Like you're actually an example of a manly man who is ready for love and gonna do it with his whole heart. And that is like Molly, that was the big question. You're walking around going, where's my wife? I know I came here to find her again. And Molly's going, I actually think that men could really just be commoditized and fleshed out. I'll try to find one or two that work. But no, Molly and I were like, ultimately, let's just keep breaking up with them and getting back together. And like, we'll just build an empire and use them for dick. Like, seriously, we were like, we had no hope. I think that was my plan. It is my plan. It's what I'm doing. But it's like, Molly and I literally, you're one specifically, we used to always talk about mean guys and like guys that were not actually like cool friends to have, right? Nick is a cool friend. And he is really nice and he really cares. Now, on the dark side, when Nick sees through someone, or when Nick calls bullshit, or when Nick has a problem with someone, the other side of that sensitivity is that you will, like a little scorpion, just secretly creeping on the ground. You'll fucking sting your fucking enemy and get him the fuck out of there. He's very safe. He's going to be a good dad. It's like you really, and the other thing too about you, it's interesting that you're a programmer because Scorpio is like what's going on underneath. It's like what's going on inside. Midheaven is Capricorn, which is like the public, what people see. That is a programmer, right? So somebody who's actually doing the behind the scenes, like programming is witch work. It's just masculine witch work, but it's like it's really going like I'm gonna put all the things.
Wizard, Harry.
And actually, this is something I've been wanting to ask the men. So it's great that I have you here, Nick. What do you like more, wizard or warlock?
It's a tough choice, but I'll go with wizard now, to be fair.
Really? You like wizard better than warlock?
That's cool, man.
A warlock is like a male witch.
But so is a wizard. But I think it's interesting. That was a test. That was a test. You passed. Because a Scorpio, if he said warlock, I would go, okay, unhealed trauma. This guy's dangerous. All that Scorpio. Wizard, he's ready for love. Cool. Okay, that's a cuter version. Now, so this is very romantic. So Molly's penis saw Nick's whole thing and was like, I would fight for that. I'm turned on by that. You get me going. Yeah, tell everybody.
Good job.
You heard it here, boys. Nick Packin. But it's like Molly was like, I will fight for this man. I'm turned on by this man. Like she liked you. You were like, oh wow, somebody on my level. Like you were like, oh shit, she's an equal. Most women you dated, they're nice, but I don't really just want a housewife. I want a partner. Molly is like on your level.
Do you know why he thought I was on his level? Because the first time we met, I walked into our friend's apartment and Nick was there because he was friends with the other person who lived there. And I walked in and sniffed the air and I was like, are you guys drinking Lafroig, which is like this whiskey?
Molly!
And Nick was like, yeah. And that was when he was like, oh my God, I think that's my future wife because I could sniff the air and smell whiskey.
And how fucking Scorpio is that, right? That like what you liked about her was that she was underneath she literally was smelling I just want to say side note, Randy and I used to do IG lives all the time and he would only sit half in or he wouldn't just be in the camera. And I will send you clips just because you guys will laugh. I'm pushing him into the screen the whole time. And then at one point he was like, raw, I like it better with the half my face. Okay. So anyway, he's like, I'm only going half face. And I was like, okay, whatever. But so anyway, Molly, I'm just gonna say that sometimes they just want to be the little voice on the side. Okay. But also, Nick, you're gorgeous. You're gorgeous. So we'd like to have you. But bottom line is when Molly knew that that's Scorpio shit. You being impressed that she could sniff it out. It's a detective. Scorpio is a fucking detective. So the fact that she sniffed out the wine and you were like, she sniffed out the wine. How does somebody know? What'd you say?
We're alcoholics.
Well, Irish is perfect. You're going to have a good time. The kids start drinking young. It's all good. You got Capricorn in your chart. You're going to be okay. You get good parents no matter what. You know, the Irish family that I was very close to growing up, that is where we all drank as a kid, and it was that safe space. Anyway, let's move on to another extremely romantic thing, and then we will say another romantic thing, and then I will let you guys go. But we're not done yet. Now, let's look back at the chart. So Nick is red, Molly is blue, right? So look at this pile up of connection. So MC is Nick's midheaven. That's his legacy. That is his public legacy. Well, wouldn't you know, exactly conjunct Nick's legacy is Molly's Sun, Mercury, and Neptune. Nick's Neptune is there too. So Nick's legacy is very much interested in being that Capricorn. Even if he's actually a real sweetie and is watching movies and crying at night, what he really wants you to see is that he's got big daddy energy. You actually have really big dad vibe. I said that to you, Mom. Remember I said, I was like, Nick has dad vibes in the best way. I think
Everyone calls him Nick the Dad.
You're here to be a dad, Nick. You're gonna be a great dad. Like but Nick is Nick as an Aries rising and Capricorn midheaven, he really is presenting as this masculine, like you are masculine, but inside you're a big mush. And that's actually the duality, right? And Molly's interesting too, because it's exactly opposite. Molly's a Pisces rising, so she's as feminine as it gets on the outside, but on the inside, she's all fucking business, right? Like, like behind, like out in the world, Molly is a perfect wife for you, because Capricorn sun on your midheaven and her Mercury, when you see your life and you see yourself standing there on the podium after being elected president, Molly's sun is literally there with you. When you saw Molly and she sniffed the wine, you thought, I don't even fuck anything about this person. I could bring her to my events after I run for president and she will be impressive. You saw Molly as impressive and you were like, I need an impressive woman to stand with, because she actually is like, she really is like an equal to you in the way that, like, because when it really comes down to it, you're actually way more shy and sensitive so you are projecting the image of like I'm out here doing public work, but really you're not. Now Molly presents, it's like, honestly, it's like Jill and Joe. Like Jill Biden, you know that like I love Jill Biden. I don't know if I love Joe Biden. I love Jill Biden. But it's almost like Joe has a lot of Scorpio in his chart. So Joe is the figurehead. But you know that, I mean, Jill, when you see, even the times where Jill reaches over and grabs his hand, and the way that Jill, you know that she is really the cook in the kitchen. The man is the head, the woman is the neck. Like Molly, you're really like, even if Nick is in public and presenting and has something to do, he would much rather you do the talking. And you do represent him. When you speak and your son, he feels like actually, if you weren't going to date him, he would hire you as his spokesperson. You're a perfect spokesperson for Nick. And so that's really cool. Now, another really cool thing is that Nick's Venus, his heart, his Saturn, his karma, and his Uranus. Okay, so he really is looking. Nick's in the mood for love. He's been looking for love his whole life. And his Venus and Saturn. So when you have Saturn and Venus together, it means that love is serious for you. And it means that you don't take to, like, yeah, you'll date a bunch of chicks, but you're doing it to find your wife. His heart is serious. And it's exactly conjunct your Saturn too. So you met and you're like, this is serious. And it's conjunct your asteroid bride. So Nick's Venus and Saturn are conjunct your bride and Saturn.
Whoa.
So this is a really interesting connection, because Molly's Saturn is carrying the energy of bride, and Nick's Saturn is carrying the energy in Sagittarius of looking for my bride. So, and then your son is on his legacy, which is also like his public house, which would be his marriage. And so you really fit like a glove, and it's really nice. You love to see it, you know?
Yeah.
Now I'll get into the chart of the relationship, because I know Nick's like, okay, how long do these things take usually? But it's like, it's really like, I just want to say, like, in terms of you guys laying on top of each other in the charts, it's like one of those things where, and it's interesting too. Okay, the last thing that's really worth noting, Nick's rising is in Aries, but it's late Aries, so it switches into Taurus pretty early. Molly's moon is in Taurus with her asteroid Groom. So Nick's presentation, right? Like the Nick's rising, he is appearing to be a Aries. You both have an Aries North Node. But then when it comes down to it, who he actually is switches very quickly into Taurus. And it's like, so he seems like he's fun and wild and he's going to do dance and get drunk. But when it comes down to it, that's like maybe only 4 nights a week. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. That's like maybe only 1 night a week. Or like you'll go in the front and be the risk taker, or you'll go punch a hole through the wall and be like, Molly, go talk. Because it's like, but so he really has this strong Tauran presence. Your moon is in Taurus. That's what you need to feel safe. That's what you need to feel comfortable. So for you, he's kind of like fun and exciting. Okay, Aries. But really, it's that when you found out he was like his Tauran first house stuff, you're like, oh, I could live here. You were like, yeah, I'll move with you, sure. Because like actually, he makes you feel really safe.
Yes, that is so true.
Okay, now let's switch to the
Okay.
relationship
My
itself.
phone will die soon, so
I'll be quick.
I don't. Yeah. It's
Oh
on,
no,
like,
we're switching to Zoom and we're going on
4%.
YouTube. No. Hilarious. Okay, so the relationship's incredibly romantic. Wow. Wow. Okay. First of all, the north node of the relationship is exactly, to the degree, 28 degrees, exactly conjunct your rising sign as a couple, which is 28 degrees Pisces. Okay, so in this chart, let me just make sure I'm getting this.
So you take both of our charts and put them together and it makes a new one?
Yeah. I know we had a math problem at the Moonual last time, but that is what it is. So it's basically like this plus this equals this whole different entity. So now this is not either of your charts. This is the relationship chart, okay? So the rising sign of the relationship is 28 degrees Pisces. This is beautiful. On the one hand, it calms Nick's front down. On the other hand, it brings your Pisces rising actually into some level of graduation, because a Pisces rising is actually like really dope. Pisces rising as a couple, it's like you actually are wearing the face of it's the highest love. It's universal love. It's soul love. It's that real like felt like, you know, before life and death, there is just this energy of love. So you're Pisces rising, but it's earlier. But now he makes you be like, no, I am a Pisces rising, and we are a Pisces rising, and we lead with love, and we lead with creativity. And the relationship in and of itself is almost just like a beautiful song. Like the whole thing is poetic, and the relationship itself is poetry. Very nice. You also have your Jupiter as a couple in the first house, which means that this union is lucky. By you guys being together, there is an element of like you can bring things to you. It's a really lovely. I'm just gonna cut you guys out of it. So Molly's gonna be like, it was nice reading, but I hate seeing me fucking try to get him in the camera the whole time. You know, I'm just kidding. She's like, I'm telling you about our love. No, she's listening. But the north node on the exact ascendant means like this relationship is purpose. The purpose of this relationship is to be. Cool. It also means that the south node of the relationship is on the descendant, which means you've been together before. That's the wife you've been looking for, Nick. The wife you've been looking for is Molly.
We've been together.
You have been together before for sure. And
in like as a couple?
Yeah, definitely.
And lovers.
Cool.
Yeah, I think you guys have I think he was like literally looking for you. And it's cool too. Okay, so like the relationship is very like sort of top heavy. So first of all, this heals both of your Chiron wound. This heals Nick's really having someone that understands him at home intimately. This heals the part of you that was like, okay, maybe my sister's not here, but I won't be pissed that you're here, Nick. I actually will love my partner at home, and I will be a good like roomie, right? So that really is healing for both of you. Then you have your sun in this relationship in the 9th house in Sagittarius. Wow, go figure. There you are, moving to fucking London, right? The 9th house is travel. The 9th house is the world. The 9th house is higher education, higher learning. It's the Sagittarius house, and it's in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is the sign of the truth with a capital T. Sagittarius is the philosopher. Sagittarius is the teacher. Sagittarius is the expansive. You guys have a life of adventure ahead. This is not the last place you'll live. You are going to, the more money you make, I think that you guys will have like your life is an adventure together, straight up. That's why you're together.
That's the big question. Are we going to make a lot of money?
Definitely. You will definitely make a lot of money. And actually, you make more money together than you do separately. Because when you have Jupiter in the first house in Aries, but here's what I would say. You're at 28 degree rising as a couple, but then most of the first house is in Aries with Jupiter there. So it's kind of like you want to use Molly's front to like sort of think up and concoct some, like one of Molly's greatest strengths is that she is a trend spotter. Molly's psychic and she's ahead of the curve. So Molly's going to have some intuitions that don't totally make sense. But if you get behind her, I'm right. But she's going to get some ideas where it's like, I know that sounds crazy, but, and Nick might be like, Molly, that's totally fucking insane. And you're going to be like, I know, but I have a feeling that like Beanie Babies are going to come back. And like, I think we should buy like 1,000 Beanie Babies, right? It's going to be something like that where you're like, really?
Do Virgos make more money?
Virgos don't necessarily make more money, but Virgos.
Nick, it's on the whole chart.
Who's a Virgo? I don't know. Wait, next. Who's a Virgo?
Yeah, what is your girlfriend a Virgo? Your side piece?
My side chick's a Virgo.
Close friend.
My side chick's a Virgo, and I'm gonna hire her as our assistant. But it's like but because you guys have Jupiter in the first house in Aries,
Are
you're
you
gonna
not
make.
answering the question there?
Stop it, Nick.
What'd he say? What'd he say?
Barely pay attention, and then you derail it.
Nick,
Bam.
no. He's
Right.
literally no. I want to tell you something right now. He's hearing every fucking word. He's too intimate to be seen on camera right now. He doesn't
Yes.
want to burst out in fucking
That was
tears.
it.
You're crying
Everything-
right now. You're crying.
Everything
Nick.
you said
You're
is so
crying.
accurate about him, about how he's so manly, but also so sensitive, and that's why he's slowly like.
Because he's like, I don't want because actually,
It's
if you're
my
listening,
curse.
it's also your gift.
That's true. That is
They're
true.
one and the same. They're one. No, you're very
Being
valuable
in the
because
yang, some would say.
you'd be a very good spy
Yeah.
if you could keep your tears in. But it's like because you really feel. No, you don't want to be on camera right now because if you were to relax, you would know that your relaxed face would look like something like you just like. And then you might start to cry. You're actually so into what I'm saying that you don't want to give up on the front
Second level.
how deeply moved you are. And I think that that's okay. Save that for Molly. That's intimate stuff. But I know that I'm moving you to your core, and I get this guy's chart. He's listening. Scorpios don't miss a fucking beat. Are you kidding me? He hears every single thing. He couldn't possibly react to every single thing he hears because if he did, he would be like, "You're sad. You're happy. This needs fixing." It would be overwhelming. So he has to actually sit with feelings.
Mm-hmm.
What? Tell me. What did you say?
He said, "I might have to meditate on this."
Oh no, he will listen back because. Yeah, it's almost like you don't even want to do. We could do it privately. We don't do this on Instagram Live anyway. We can fucking say it right now immediately. He's like, "Don't tell him I'm a crier," but it's like, but really, like, you guys are here to. Here's the point of this relationship, okay? Overall, the point of this relationship is to do deep, bonded, intimate relationship in a way that doesn't hurt.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah, that's right.
That is true. It's like it's because we always associate that Scorpio energy with like bonded to other and like what happens behind closed doors. This is like actually what happens behind closed doors is awesome, secret, and fuels the adventure. And you guys are here to be on your life is an adventure. And together you're extremely powerful. You know why else? Okay, so you have Jupiter in your first house in Aries. So Molly's gonna have some cuckoo ideas. Nick, your only job is to back your girl. And at that point, you're going to be leaders in something. You'll lead in some way, or you'll put something out there that's like kind of like a first or a very Aryan thing. And that Jupiter there is going to be like, and you make money from it. It's going to have the same kind of energy as Molly's random ass business viral video. You remember your random ass business viral video?
Which one?
Your emoji business.
Oh,
video.
yeah.
The same kind of vibe as that, which is like you kind of just did something you thought was the thing, but then you kind of were ahead of the trend and then it picked up and it was like, whoa, this is like career making. You could have a thing like that, but really exciting. Your midheaven of the relationship is at 27 degrees Sagittarius. 27 degrees Sagittarius is the galactic center. It's like the biggest black hole in the universe. It is it's basically like your whole relationship, and at 17 degrees, it's at the great attractor. So you guys being a couple, you're actually like, you guys should start Hogwarts because it really is like when you come together, what you become is like an incredibly powerful magnet. Like, will you make money is a dumbass question. Don't ask me that question ever again. You're going to make Scorpio. No, Nick's chart, if he's not going to date you, but he will invest in the relationship, it's because he's going to find out everything about you because he's going to get your money. Okay. So that really is like, no, Scorpios get the money back. Capricorns want, keep, and have the money. So you got tons of money in this chart. But the midheaven, 27 degrees, look it up. 27 degrees Sagittarius between, and then even on your sun, which is 70 degrees, between your sun, your Saturn, which is your karma, Uranus, which is like genius ideas and changing things fast, and the legacy as a couple. Yeah, because he's journaling. He's like, okay, I'm getting to work on my big ideas because you guys are able, if you put your minds together, you can literally attract. Honestly, you could be like the new like Jerry and Esther Hicks, who like were that, they do like the Abraham. Are you into Abraham Hicks? Like they're the couple and they meditated together so much that then Esther started receiving messages. Now that this famous couple, he died, but now she's working with him because she can speak to the dead. So it kind of works. But it's like, you guys could be a like, I mean, you're not going to go this direction because you're cooler than that, but it's like you could be like a famous spiritual couple. You could be a famous, like, what you are is like when you put your mind together and you go, what is like the like best case scenario? Now, it's hard for you, Molly, because even though like you want to think that, you are so practical and you do have big visions and big ideas because of that Pisces rising, but then you talk yourself out of it every fucking time because you're like, okay, but Earth. Okay. But together, you're fire. This relationship together is carrying a huge amount of fire and a huge amount of birth. So it's kind of like what you're doing together is like burning down. You know how like forest fires are low-key actually good for the fire forest?
Yes.
So what you guys did together is you actually like, you fucking ninth house moved to London and you are in the process of burning down everything that who you were before. You're meant to get married because who you were before doesn't actually compare to who you are as a couple. And that is something that I think is very rare. Like I'm not going to get married until I'm like, I'm better with you and we're better together. You guys are better together. You guys are, by you being together, you're transforming everything about your life that didn't work and everything about your life that you thought wasn't possible. And what you're going to ultimately create is like, no, Molly, brainstorm with him about like I mean, you have an empire in your blood. And honestly, get him into the Moonual. We need a programmer. And let's just tell him the Moonual is the fantasy, okay? But it's like, really, you can call in whatever you want. And then your Venus in Capricorn in this chart is in the is in the 10th house, which is your career, your public persona, and that's also your bank account. You are going to make tons of fucking money. But the last thing I'll say, your moon in this relationship is in Aquarius, which is a very nice placement, even though on some level, sometimes Aquarius moons can be a little bit detached. But what I think here is that you guys actually have enough, you have so much, you're so bonded that actually when you take space from each other, or even if it's like mental, like nobody gets offended when someone's like, I need me time, or like, I'm going to go see my family, or you actually can separate from each other because you are, I mean, Nick, you can pretend to laugh because I know you're crying. You guys found each other through telepathy and you practice telepathy all the time. This relationship is actually getting you real about how much telepathy you're both using. And your moon is telepathic. So your souls are in constant communication. If you guys didn't speak for, like, I was watching The Crown, you know, they're like, it's like, Philip was away for 6 months and I didn't speak to him and talk to him once except for the live stream for the world, whatever. If Nick left for 6 months and you didn't speak to him, when he got back, you would feel like you were there the whole time together. You wouldn't even notice. You are in psychic 5D. He came here to find you. He's here this chart is looking for a wife because he's going to be famous. And he needs a wife by his side because she's going to do all the actual work. That's what you are. And he's like, my only job is to be a soulful man and show the boys that they can be soulful. That is. And to reprogram. He's a reprogrammer of the masculine. You are the opposite, which is that you're a feminine, but you are a masculine woman. So you're a reprogrammer of the feminine going, actually, not only are we great creators, but we can actually, like, you're really good at having ideas and executing them. He's really good at having ideas and having fun and otherwise hoping you get into the bedroom and that you're his wife. But really, he doesn't have, he's a programmer, but like, I'm glad he laughed. Okay. But he's a programmer, but it's like.
No, that was me laughing. That was my divine masculine laugh.
That's funny. Okay. Anyway, you're in the relationship. The moon is in the 12th house in Aquarius. The rising of the relationship is 28 degrees in Pisces, and the 12th house is Pisces. So even though the moon is in Aquarius, it's in the Pisces house. You're a Pisces rising. So it's really like, this is a really empowered Pisces energy. Pisces energy can go a lot of different ways, but this actually makes it, he strengthens your Pisces and you strengthen his Scorpio in a way where you guys are like, give me 10 years. Check back with me on IG Live in 10 years. You're going to be like, yeah, when we really sunk into the fact that like we are psychic and like we have been using telepathy and like we're together in this life and all the lives and the point of this relationship on a deeper level is to bring you both into actual, how do I put it? Religion and spirituality are different. And like, even with like the woo woo stuff, these are just words that we're using. But at the end of the day, spirit is real. And you're here to teach each other that God is real and that you are connected to spirit and that you are telepathic. And other than that, take over the world. You can call in literally whatever you want. And I think I just lost you. So like, that's the reading, but like, hey, what a good time. Her phone died, but I think we finished. If anybody wants to get a love reading, I'm doing a 50% off sale until the end of tomorrow. Go to saraharmer.com, use discount code BEMINE, and we can do a reading for you or you and your loved one, or you and your crush, or fuck it, let's do you and your corporate team. Anything goes. Okay.